wrong with my Facebook? Oh, here we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? Listen, I thank my God for not giving up. I thank my God for keep on trying. I thank my God for faith because the devil, the enemy, whatever you want to call it, has been busy, busy, busy. But my God is busier. And so, welcome to the Free to Hope Conversation with Edwina B. That's me, y'all. Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Ooh, look at this arm, y'all. I'm getting this arm up, see? Ooh, ouch. Not too much, but you know what? To God be the glory, I have an arm. And if I didn't, I'll use my other limbs, okay? Because one thing I know about my God, all things work for the good for those who love the Lord, even my parts of my body, which is a part of his body. So I ain't worried about it. I thank him for choosing me to wake up this morning at this moment that will never, ever, ever come again. And so for that, I want to give him the honor, the praise, the glory, the hallelujah, the worship. And most important to me is the acknowledgement. That's all he wants, to be acknowledged. He know we need him, but he wants us to want him. So free to hope from recovery, I've emerged this day empowered so that I can give hope to just one other person, help others prosper equally. All right, so let's see what we have in terms of announcements today. Okay, first of all, I want to share with you what our topic is today, and it's not an unbroken tradition. It is live and let live. Okay, so let me add a banner so that I can share with you what the information for the topic is today. The devil was busy, okay, and so I failed to add the right topic for today. Live and let live, okay? So that's what it is, and that's what we are going to be focusing on this day from the daily AA reflections reading, right? And so there it is, okay? I told you I don't let the devil win over nothing, right? And so because of the topic live and let live, I want to demonstrate with you why, for me, going to my Alcoholics Anonymous 12-step meeting on a daily basis helps me to learn how to live and to let live. Okay. And AJ Harding, this whole week has been talking on the topic of self-awareness, self-inventory, looking at ourselves and not other people, examining our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior, self-examination. When we have one finger pointing at someone else, as my friend Pop says, I got a thumb plus three fingers pointing at me. Live and let live, but let it start with you. Let it start with me. Let each of us search our hearts, search our minds, search our behaviors, our attitude, and say, God, anything that stands in the way for me being of service to you, please remove it. Please remove it. AJ Harding, y'all got to go hear that tape today. As a matter of fact, listen to him every morning like I do, but particularly this week on self-awareness. And it is a great topic for us to get into with the topic of live and let live. So because of the spiritual principles, tools, and resources I practice on a daily basis, self-examination, so that I can live right with purpose, right? With in my calling, achieving my destiny, right? Live with purpose and to let you live, right? And for me to give you the tools, principles, and resources that are spiritual in nature that help me to have my heaven here on earth, okay? So that's one thing I wanted to share with you. The other thing is, I excuse me, I have to say that yesterday, CCC Community Communications Corporation had their board meeting, right? And many of you know Twinbee Brown, the late Benjamin Twinbee Brown, passed on the torch to me, and I selected, and it wasn't a selection, it was already a given, that his top student who has expanded Twin's vision beyond his own imagination, Don Thomas and his wife Lyric Thomas, right? They are coming to Wilmington, Delaware. They will be here this weekend, particularly Don, and Lyric and Legacy will be here shortly thereafter. But at yesterday's board meeting, the miracle finally happened. Not finally, it happened when it was supposed to happen, right? Where we were able to be truthful to ourselves, to examine each of ourselves, to take a self inventory of ourselves. And we're talking about the board members, right? Previous board members like Representative Dorsey, Sherry Dorsey, and the president, Maria Guevara, and the vice president, Pastor Greer, right? And others. And so yesterday we were able to elect a new president, a chair of the board, and that is no other than Don Thomas. Yes, he resigned from the position of director of production and programming so that he can have the leadership of directing this board in the right direction, above and beyond what Twin could have even ever imagined. All right, so congratulations to Don Thomas as the new chair, president of Community Communications Corporation. Yes. And so him and I and his wife will be working collectively to relaunch CCC. So stay tuned for the information of past programs, new programs, and existing programs so that we can let you know what's going on, what's coming, and what's designed for the future. So congratulations, Don Thomas, on being selected as CCC chair of the board. All right. Okay. So I think I'm going to put that down in the as a banner so that I can continuously remind you, because I don't have my regular announcements here for some reason. That's why I said the devil was busy, but he's a liar, because I'm still on. All right. And so the other thing I wanted to emphasize again, the winter months are coming, and people who are in addiction, by their choice or by their choice or not, right? But when you are plagued with the disease of addiction, it didn't happen overnight. It was a progression. And so we've learned that we have the disease of alcoholism, the disease of addiction, and we are sick people wanting to get well. Okay. And so as a result, Divine Light, where I am the program director, want to offer you intensive outpatient and outpatient services 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, right? And so for those who enter our program who want to address their substance abuse disorder with treatment and recovery as well as housing, please contact us at Divine Light 302-468-4530. We are an inpatient program, but we use an outside module, meaning our clients, our family members come to the office for treatment and recovery, and then we transport them to our transitional houses until they are able to get on their feet, get a job, and find their own housing. But for those with substance abuse disorders who are homeless and are in our program, we will provide that service to you. Now, if you have more challenging problems like mental illness, Divine Light has a mental illness program in Baltimore as well as Philadelphia. And they too address the co-occurring disorders of substance abuse and mental illness, whereas Divine Light Delaware focus more on the substance abuse disorder. Okay, so call us for more information. Get people off the street, get people out the hit houses, get people out the bars, and let them know Divine Light is here to put a new life within you and putting the pieces back together of the puzzle. Okay, all right, so that was that. And so let's get to our topic today. Let me first take a drink, okay? A drink of coffee. I've been letting y'all know that I am still on a spiritual high, a spiritual drunkenness, right? A spiritual hangover, because my God is doing so much. I listen. Come on with it, Lord, because you have prepared me, obviously, from underneath that park car 34 plus years ago, and to be sitting here before my audience, whoever they are. Nobody kind of signed in yet to let me know they're watching, but I know somebody's watching. And guess what? It's none of my business anyway. All right, my God, my goal is to plant the seed. So before I get started on the topic of live and let live, I want to thank my grandson's sister, right, Jayla Madry. She goes to the University of Delaware, and she invited me to be one of the panelists at their mandatory class on substance abuse prevention, because October for them is Substance Abuse Prevention Month. And I was so elated that this was my first speaking engagement at a college, and I look forward to doing more. So thank you, Jayla Madry, for inviting me to the University of Delaware, your class on substance abuse prevention. That's what I mean. God is continuing to enlarge, increase my platforms just to touch one more person, okay? So thank you, Jayla Madry. All right. Now, let's go to the topic today of live and let live. All right. Now, what does that mean to you? Live and let live? What does it mean? Live and let live. I mind my own business, and I let you have your own business, right? I concentrate on me and my defects and my shortcomings, and I don't bother you and yours. Live and let live, right? And so we are all born into this sinful world, and we all have a sinful nature just by the mere fact of being born into this sinful world, okay? And so as a result, right, there are 6.7 billion people on this earth. Live and let live. What does that mean? Okay. And so all I know is that this is my vessel. This is my body. This is my temple, now that I can call it that, because I know it is now. And the question becomes, what spirits are occupying this vessel? And so whatever spirit occupies this vessel is going to come through this vessel and achieve its goals, whether it be lust, lying, deceitfulness, right? Promiscuity, right? Also joy, happiness, whatever. The spirit comes through this vessel and discloses its motives, its goals, and achieves its objectives. Okay, so with Alcoholics Anonymous, 12-step spiritual program with spiritual principles, tools, and resources within a spiritual fellowship have a different meaning on the topic of live and let live. And so that's why for me, I'll be leaving shortly to go to my AA meeting that I've been going to for over 34 plus years. All right, here's the topic. It says, live and let live, okay? Never since it began has Alcoholics Anonymous been divided by a major controversial issue, right? Right? Wow, that's powerful. Nor has our fellowship ever publicly taken sides on any question in an embattled world. This, however, has been so earned virtue. This has been no earned virtue. It could almost be said that we were born with it. So long as we don't argue these matters privately, it's a clinch we never shall publicly. And this comes from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions off of page 176. The person in recovery shares their experience, strength, and hope by saying, never since it began, do I remember that I have a right to my opinion, but that others don't have to share it? That's the spirit of live and let live, right? We're going to dissect this, baby, okay? The serenity prayer reminds me, with God's help, to accept the things I cannot change. Am I still trying to change others? When it comes to courage to change the things I can, do I remember that my opinions are mine and yours are yours? Am I still afraid to be me? When it comes to wisdom to know the difference, do I remember that my opinions come from my experience? If I have a know-it-all attitude, aren't I being deliberately controversial? Oh my God, I can't wait to dissect this, baby. So you see why, for me, going to my spiritual fellowship that offers spiritual information, spiritual insight based on principles, resources, and tools, I get to be reminded that I have the disease of alcoholism that is only arrested. It is incurable in this physical body, right? And so once I understand the spiritual aspect of my disease, then I can address it one day at a time and achieve a daily reprieve from my alcoholism. Okay? And it's contingent on the maintenance of my spiritual condition. See, people like myself didn't understand that we have been given the power of the spirit, right? And we've been given the power of the mind, right? To utilize the spirit that will help the mind and demonstrate what's really in our hearts, okay? And so when it says live and let live in terms of Alcoholics Anonymous, the very first sentence talks about it. Never since it began has Alcoholics Anonymous been divided by a major controversial issue. Live and let live? Oh, no. Okay, I can live, but I ain't gonna let you live. No. Okay, so never, it's a strong word. Since AA began, has Alcoholics Anonymous been divided by a major controversial issue? It goes on to say, nor has our fellowship ever publicly taken sides on any question in an embattled world. Hear this. Nor has our fellowship ever publicly, right, taken sides on any question in an embattled world. Many of you know that the two previous movements, the Washingtonians, which is a temperance group, and the Oxford group, which was a religious group, focused more on other issues instead of staying with their original and initial primary purpose of staying sober and helping other alcoholics achieve sobriety. So Alcoholics Anonymous, through our co-founders and members who were a part of the Oxford group, who knew about the Washingtonians, learned from Dr. Carl Jung that people with the disease of alcoholism needs a psychic change, needs divine providence, divine intervention, so that will create spiritual experiences, awakenings, and produced an unlimited amount of spiritual breakthroughs. And so one of the things we learned from the two previous movements is to live and let live. And so Alcoholics Anonymous has not diverted from its primary purpose of staying sober and helping another alcoholic achieve sobriety. Beginning, end, that's it, right? We focus on our main our main purpose of staying sober and helping another alcoholic achieve sobriety. But with that being said, there are 12 spiritual principles, 12 spiritual traditions, and 12 spiritual concepts within a spiritual fellowship. So the main theme that it's spiritual. Okay, so that's why it has said that never since it began has Alcoholics Anonymous been divided by a major controversial issue. Okay, nor has our fellowship ever publicly taken sides on any question in an embattled world. It goes on to say this, however, has been no earned virtue, right? It could almost be said that we were born with it, huh? Let me read that again, right? This, however, has been no earned virtue, right? It could almost be born with it, born in a sinful world with a sinful nature. Yes, okay? So long as we don't argue these matters privately, it's a clinch we never shall publicly. So in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? When we meet, we don't get into any outside issues that has nothing to do with our disease of alcoholism and its associated behaviors, attitudes, right? And mindset, okay? And so we learn that if we just keep the primary focus of staying sober and helping another alcoholic achieve sobriety, we will learn how to apply spiritual principles to all earthly matters. So we say, let's not even think about bringing up a topic other than how to stay sober and to help another alcoholic that will bring about arguments, chaos, confusion. No. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Look what happened to the Washingtonians. Look what happened to the Oxford Group. And Alcoholics Anonymous will be 90 years old June of 2025. So we are doing something right because it's spiritual. Whatever is spiritual is going to last. Not religion, not temperance groups. No, spirituality is here for endless, unlimited time, right? If it's not spiritual, it's not going to last. It can't, because it's not based on spiritual principles. No, okay? So then the person in recovery shares his story by saying, do I remember that I have a right to my opinion, but that others don't have to share it? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Do I remember? Am I taking a self-examination? Am I taking an inventory, right? Of myself, not of others. Do I remember, right, that I have a right to my own opinion? And 6.7 billion people on this earth have the right to their own opinion. Why would it be different from me or for them? Right? Right? Do I remember? You, they, him, she, they may not remember, but because I am in this spiritual program and learning this spiritual information, right? Do I remember that I have a right to my opinion, but that others don't have to share it? How many of us bombard other people with trying to convince them that this is the way, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. No, listen to me. No, no, no. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Express your opinion and let the others express their opinion, and both of y'all keep your mouth shut when the other person is sharing. Okay? So we can agree to disagree, because why? Here it is. That's the spirit of live and let live. The serenity prayer, which I talk about so often, is broken down with some examples. Okay? The serenity prayer reminds me, with God's help, self-examination, right? Self-awareness. AJ said it. Listen, with me, I am nothing. No, I think I'm King Kong and this and that. Oh, hell to the no. No, you're not. But guess what? Life journey will let you know that you're not. And that's why I say every knee shall bow and every mouth shall confess. Right? Like it did for me, right? And so it says here, right? The serenity prayer reminds me, with God's help, to accept the things I cannot change. What are some of the things you can't change? You can't change the weather, but you can act accordingly. You can't change the rules and regulations of this society, right? Directly, right? You can't change the way people drive or don't drive, right? You can't change anything and anybody, right? And so the serenity prayer, it says, God, help me to accept the things I cannot change, right? Am I still trying to change others? Am I still trying to change others? How many of us have gone through life trying to change other people to make them act and think the way we do, right? Now, we are definitely cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, for real, okay? Because it's impossible to change anybody. And so we try to control people in order to change them. Once you think you got to control something or somebody, you are already out of control. I am already out of control, right? So with the serenity prayer, God, help me to accept the things I cannot change, all right? He goes on to say, and when it comes to courage to change the things I can, do I remember that my opinions are mine? Courage to change the things that I can. Do I remember that my opinions are mine and yours are yours? Do I have the courage to change the things I can? Yes, I can accept me for me, and I can accept you for you. My opinions are my opinions, and your opinions are your opinions. Do I have the courage to let you know, right, my opinion, but do I accept your opinion without debating none of that, right? Okay? And so he goes on to say, am I still afraid to be me? No, not anymore. I shared last night at the University of Delaware, man, listen, it is so freeing being me. It is so freeing being me. But it only happened because of my one and only knee-bound experience. Two, that I cried out to this God that I didn't know to take me out this life or show me a better way. Three, I accepted the fact that he allowed me to stay here. Four, I was willing to do any and all things under his leadership, right? Five, he put me on a spiritual pathway for spiritual experiences, awakenings, so I can still, right, experience an unlimited amount of breakthroughs, right, that are spiritual in nature, which is why I am spiritually drunk, spiritually hungover. Yes, I am, because it doesn't stop. because he knows my heart, right? But I am not afraid to be me anymore. And Sharon, yesterday, I let them, those youth know how many masks I wore. I wore all my life, right? And still can put them on if I choose to. But because of AJ Hardy saying, no, self-awareness, self-examination, take that mask off and be who you are. Huh? The new you, the creator who created you to be who he wants you to be. I become a new creature once we have that one and only knee bowing experience so that we can be free to be me and say, Lord, yes, yes, yes. Teach me, guide me, mold me, shape me, prepare me. Yes, I'm all yours. Use this vessel, right? With the fruit of the Spirit. Yes, use me, Lord, use me, right? And so when it says, am I still afraid to be me? Is that why I try to convince people to see it my way as my way or the highway? Am I really afraid to let them know how vulnerable I am, how insecure I am, how afraid I am to be me? And yes, at the end of the session yesterday, I told them never judge a book by its cover, and I took out these teeth. They was like, don't judge a book by its cover. And I explained to them, I don't have a problem with being me. Without my dentures, right? I'm still me with them, without them, but I am free to take them out to let you see the condition that drugs and alcohol did on my teeth and how recovery in this process gave me some dentures. But my dentures don't make me. It's the spirit, the fruit of the Spirit that makes me. So I am no longer afraid to be me. As a matter of fact, I find it rejuvenating. I find it so exciting, so awesome. It's like I done broke all the chains with the help of my God to be who I am. Now I know who I am, but most importantly, I know whose I am. Okay, I got to get ready to get out of here, right? Then it says, when it comes to wisdom to know the difference. That's the third part of the serenity prayer, and this is where some of us get stuck, right? The wisdom to know the difference. If you have not achieved spiritual wisdom, then you can't understand this statement. But if you thirst for spiritual wisdom and practice it and embrace it and analyze it and utilize it and practice it, you will understand this statement. The wisdom to know the difference. Do I remember that my opinions come from my experience? Do I remember the wisdom to know the difference? Do I remember that my opinions come from my own experience? And guess what? The same applies to you, right? The same applies to you. If I have a know-it-all attitude, aren't I being deliberately controversial? Oh, huh? Yes, we are. I say we, right? So listen, this is all inclusive. But the difference is I've learned through my journey that living in a sinful world with a sinful nature, life is designed to challenge me, my ego, my pride, and realize that they will and are designed to let me down, right? That it gave me a false sense of pride and ego that I can do anything. No, I can't do nothing, not a damn thing. I couldn't get myself from underneath that parked car. I could not rid myself of my addiction. I could not rid myself of these negative defects. No, no, no. Of myself, I am nothing, but life had to show me that, to the point where I had my one and only knee bowing experience, to the point where through that humiliating experience, so I thought, was the most humbling experience I could have ever had, because I cried out, whoever they say you are, take me out this life or show me a better way. So yes, I no longer have a know-it-all attitude. I practice living and let live. I practice not getting into any controversy. I practice minding my own business. I practice not telling you what to do. I practice keeping my mouth shut. Yes. And AJ said it this morning, if I want change, let me be the change that others see. That's how my Pastor Bullock go. He like, when he hits something, he like, yes, let me be the change, right? Let me be the change that others see. Right? And so if I want to be faithful, I need to be faithful. If I want somebody not to lie to me, I won't lie to people. If I want somebody that I can trust, I need to be trustworthy. I need to be the change that I want to see and others to see. Yes, lead by example, not by your mouth. I shared yesterday, right? I grew up in a family that says, do as I say and not as I do. No, it ain't gonna work. No, no, no. You modeled that behavior. I'm going to imitate. I'm going to pretend that I'm you, and I'm going to smoke. I'm going to drink. I'm going to party. I'm going to what? Because I see. And I became attracted to that. But where did it get me? Underneath that parked car. So now that I have humility, forced, in my opinion, by humiliation, but God don't see it that way. He sees it, I got you just the way you did. I got you just where I want you. For you to see, because you don't know all about you, but I do. Okay? So I got to get out of here. All right. And so it says here once again, right? The wisdom to know the difference. Do I remember that my opinions come from my experience, your opinion from your experience? How in the world can we agree if we have different experiences? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. However, in Alcoholics Anonymous, we do learn from others' experiences. We learn from them. Yes, we do. Okay. And so if I have a know-it-all attitude, my God can't use me, don't want to use me. And guess what? That know-it-all attitude will definitely be challenged, and you'll find out that you don't know nothing at all, particularly if it's not of a spiritual nature. All right. So I love you. If it's God's will that you and I will be rejoined tomorrow, I'll be here. And if His will, you will be too. In the meantime, live. I am living my heaven here on earth. Yes, I am. And I want to be the light that others see, that the God is within me and He's doing all the work. Right? He's doing all the work. I'm just allowing the Holy Spirit to direct my thoughts, my behavior, my words, right? All that, right? And there's times I ain't trying to hear none of that, right? But guess what? I stumble because I know I won't achieve perfection, but I know what direction I stumble in. I stumbled forward, and I am satisfied with the progress I'm making. But I still want to make more spiritual progress. Okay? I love you. You love me. We are one big family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Ooh, ooh, ooh. To God be the glory. Be safe and let somebody know you care about them. Because if you love yourself, you'll know how to love someone else. But the key thing is unconditional. Try it. I try it, I practice it, and it works. It works. But my selfishness and my humanness gets in the way sometimes. But that's why we have, right, the 10th step. Continue to take personal inventory. And when we were wrong, promptly admit it. Okay? Be safe. To God be the glory. Love you, Lord. 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 All right, I got to go to my meeting. They know I'll be